Hi everyone, this is Matthew with the Quarter Acre Homestead, and today we're going to demonstrate our tried and true recipe for sauerkraut. Only using 2 ingredients, and I'm sure you know all the health benefits of sauerkraut, all the probiotics, plus it just tastes great. We got into it mainly because our son had some health issues and eczema and allergies and things, and the probiotics are really helpful for that. Alright, so first I'll show you what we're making. This is sauerkraut that's already been made. This one was made December of last year, and it's now, tomorrow's August 1st. So this stuff, I don't know, pretty much lasts forever once you're done and put it in your fridge. So that's another nice benefit. So the ingredients you need are cabbage. So I have half a cabbage here plus a small one out of our garden that I just picked. You probably want at least 2 pounds for your first recipe, and then also salt. And salt it's really important, and different types of salt are going to act differently. So for our tried and true recipe that's never let us down, we use the sea salt from Costco. Looks just like this. And that's all the ingredients you need. One other key, probably the other main key for this recipe, is the Fido jar. So we tried using other jars before we got these. Tried just regular mason jars, and that worked probably less than half the time. Other times the sauerkraut would get rotten or just smell really bad or whatever. So I highly recommend these Fido jars. Every time I've made sauerkraut since I had these, it worked perfectly. The key with these is this lid snaps down on the gasket and makes an airtight seal so no oxygen can get in. This one's actually pressurized. But it does let the gases out as the sauerkraut is fermenting. So it works really nicely. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and chop up my cabbage. You can do it using a knife. I'm going to use a food processor. And then I'm going to weigh it using a kitchen scale. And what you want is, for the basic recipe, 2 pounds of cabbage to 1 tablespoon of salt. So let's get started. So what I'm doing now is just chopping up the cabbage so it'll fit in my food processor. I used to chop it all by hand, which works great. Food processor is a little bit faster. So the other ingredient you can add, actually you can, I guess, add whatever you want, but we have put carrots in before as well. So I have a little bit over 2 pounds here, so I think I will just leave it like that and put a little bit over 1 tablespoon of salt. So we do 2 pounds of cabbage to 1 tablespoon of the sea salt from Costco. Okay, a little bit over a tablespoon. So just put it in a bowl. Sprinkle the salt on, and then what you want to do is just take your hands and start kneading it together, and the salt will start breaking down the cabbage and making liquid, pulling the water out of the cabbage. And you want to do that until you have quite a bit of liquid in the bottom. So I'll do this for probably 3 to 5 minutes and then show you what it looks like. Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes, and you can see it's starting to change and get a lot of water in it. And as I was doing this, I'm noticing this batch I didn't have enough cabbage for that big jar, so I got out a smaller jar here to my left. And these jars, I'll put a link in the description of the video on YouTube where you can get those. Amazon has a good deal. There's a few different companies that make them. The only ones I've used, I think they're by a company called Bernoulli or something. I don't know how to pronounce it. But again, I'll have the link there, and you can order them on Amazon. So now you can start seeing all the water in the bottom. So just do it maybe another minute, and then we'll start putting it into the jar. Okay, so then you just add it, just put the cabbage into your jar, and as you fill it up, you want to pack it down as tight as you can. And what your goal is to pack it in tight enough that all the moisture covers the cabbage, and you want the cabbage to be up to, I don't know, like the shoulder of the jar, somewhere in here, with a little bit of liquid above the cabbage. It's not too important that the liquid is above the cabbage, and it'll probably go down as it's fermenting. It's not too important since we're using a Fido jar and oxygen can't get in. So if you were using another type of jar, you'd have to be sure that all the cabbage was below the brine. But we will be okay either way, because the Fido jar keeps it all sealed. Okay, so whatever you have to pack it down with, just try to pack it down pretty well. You want like all the air out, like air bubbles that might be down in there. And then I'm just going to pour some of the juice on top, or the brine, I guess it is technically. Something like that. And then you'll want to make sure the rim is all clean, no cabbage stuck on there that might let air in. And then shut it. And then you'll just leave this out on your counter. So then you have to think about how long you want to ferment it. One thing you want to be sure is you do not open this while it's fermenting, because that can let oxygen in, which can let it mold and do different things, weird things that you don't want your sauerkraut doing. So you want to just leave this on your counter at room temperature for at least 1 week. If you're impatient, you can open it up after a week and eat it, but if you want more health benefits, so more beneficial bacteria and an even better taste, you want to wait even longer. The best time frame is 3 weeks, so 21 days out on your counter. And then if you have any sensitivities to histamines, you can actually leave it out on your counter for up to 3 months, which is what we do with our son. And then after however long you decide to ferment it, after that you can go ahead and open it up, taste it, and then just store it in your refrigerator in the same jar, and it'll pretty much, the refrigerator slows down the fermentation, and you can store it for at least 6 months in there. So if you're only making this much, you'll probably eat it faster than that, but you can make 3 or 4 jars full and then eat it during the 6 months. And then before you run out, you just start a new batch. Alright, there's one thing I forgot. While this is fermenting, the gases are going to escape out of this gasket, and some of the brine will come out also, and you don't want that mess all over your counter. So you can go ahead and put it into a pan like this one, and that way it catches all the brine that overflows. So again, if you have any questions, be sure to comment, like, and share the video, and I'll talk to you next time.